Hello there everyone, this is Keough and I have a double session for you. This was done the day after Christmas and I could not train on Christmas because the gym that I was at, the gym that I'm training at right now, as I'm away from Iowa City, is not open on Christmas. So what I did is I doubled up on my work the day after, and I did some reverse band squats, and on top of that I did some pause bench pressing. So I took most of my accessory work out, and I ended up just focusing on squatting and doing some benching, and got 4 work sets in on the reverse band squats. I used some light bands, and that right there is 455 for a triple. After watching the video, I wasn't really happy with my depth, so I tried to bury these a little bit more. The depth on some of the reps was clearly high. The depth on some of the reps was pretty questionable, and the depth on some of the reps was pretty good. So I just have to be more consistent with that. Some of it was just the band tension really throwing me off. It was pulling me forward. I couldn't quite get in good position with it. I had a heck of a time setting it up and getting it set straight. This right here is 475 pounds. I have no idea what the bands are taking off at the top and at the bottom. At the bottom, I'd say with light bands, maybe 100 pounds, maybe a little bit more. I'm not really even sure. But I'm just, I was really struggling with these bands. I did 475 again. I set up the bands differently so that they weren't hugging the iron of the plates, because the plates were really starting to cause the bands to fray. And that got a little bit better, and I was able to get 475 for another triple, then 485 for a triple. Didn't do all the work that I wanted to, all of the volume. The squat racks were pretty popular on this day, and I didn't want to come in and impose myself and take up a lot of time on squat racks, so I did less volume. I will be squatting again tomorrow, so ultimately it'll probably be a good decision. I had to deal with the fact today that when I go to a new space, when I go to a new location, sometimes people watch me, and so I had a lot of spectators today, and I'm working on getting better at that, because I know that that's going to become more and more of an issue. So I'm getting better at it all the time. That was 45 for 3. Still rounding over real bad. I got to work on that. Got to try and keep a more neutral spine. Moved on to pause bench press. This was another apparatus, this bench, that was just giving me a lot of trouble. Did 225 for 7, and then I'm going to do 235 for 3 sets of 7, and I was happy with the overall volume. This is my first complete pause bench press session in a few weeks, and I was really happy to get through all of it. I didn't set a rep PR. I didn't attempt a rep PR. The 235s weren't terribly easy, but I'm really happy with what I'm doing with my shoulders. I'm really pulling my shoulders back nicely. I'm keeping my elbows pretty tight under the bar, which is where I want them. I don't want them to get ahead of the bar and put a lot of stress on my shoulders as a consequence. And I like my pauses. I felt like most of my pauses were pretty good, longer than I've done in the past. So a lot of these were good, clean presses. I got good volume in, and I was really happy with that. I'm continuing to rehabilitate my shoulder. It feels good. I still need to get it looked at, but it's starting to feel better, and I'm able to do more pressing with it now. The goal in April, if I can just remind you and myself of that, is still 1400, and that's the number that I want in April, and I think I'm well on the way of getting that. I think my bench press is feeling pretty good right now. I think I'm going to be able to start doing more high volume training with my bench press, and I think that's going to push it up. I'm looking forward to getting back to Iowa City for training, because I'll be back with familiar equipment. I was just having a really hard time unracking this and staying tight. I had to outstretch to unrack it, but anyway, next week I'll be back in Iowa City, and I will have more videos.